Hello, everyone. This is Tony Lawson, CEO and co-founder of Shop Black. Today, I'm joined by Mr. Wole Coaxum, the CEO and founder of MoCaFi. Wole, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. How about yourself today, Tony?
I'm great. Can't complain. Thanks for joining us today.
It's my pleasure. Absolute pleasure. This is important, and we're all trying to strengthen our communities. So whatever we can do to be supportive of each other, I'm happy to be a part of that.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So getting right into it, tell us about your company, MoCaFi. What is it, and what inspired you to start it?
It's a great question. So, my background is one where I spent the first part of my career in financial services. I was really fortunate, actually, to learn how responsible banking can have positive impacts on communities. I started my career at Citigroup. I then went to Willis, which is an insurance broker, which really gave me a chance to manage large numbers of people and understand how risk works. And then I went to JP Morgan, and I was one of the most senior Black people there, managing some treasury services products and commercial card. And finally, I ran the sales for the business bank at JP Morgan. So I had all the bankers, 12,000 bankers, responsible for the 5,600 branches. And I think the number was 2.3 million customers. And one of the things that I was tasked with was, how do you drive digital into the business banking or small business customer? And so I was beginning to really understand the power that mobile can have on distributing products and services to individuals quite efficiently. And then, my George Floyd moment happened with the death of Michael Brown. And so in 2014, as we all watched those images that were just heartbreaking for his murder, I thought to myself, I can impact on my community and being at JP Morgan doing what I'm doing. And so I, at that time, sort of thought that, well, I know how digital works. I'm seeing how you can distribute to large numbers of people photography.
Sure.
My community is struggling. We need a financial or an economic agenda. Let me be a part of that. And so I left and went on my own personal journey to figure out how to be a part of the conversation. I thought about buying a bank. I thought about raising a fund that could invest in companies. And one of my mentors, and it's a real testament to the power of mentors. One of my mentors came to me and said, "Hey, you should start a company." He is an investor in financial services companies. And he said, "Wole, I think I've invested in a lot of people who don't have nearly the experience that you've got. And the sense of mission and the purpose is something that I think can build a great company. I'm supportive of what you're trying to do." And so with that, I said, well, geez, let me give this some thought. And that led me to start the company in 2016. And, in the typical entrepreneur journey, started with a bootstrap in terms of financing. Started with my own personal investment, as well as investments from friends and family. And I like to joke that we'd ask for money for investors from friends and family, enough to keep the company going, but not enough to ruin a friendship. And so we were able to raise $3 million that way. And that allowed us to really build our initial app and build the what I'll call the MVP, the minimum viable product, and to sort of see if we had a product that people wanted. And at our core, our product is, we believe in three things. We want people to bank smart, we want people to build their credit, and we want to help people create wealth, particularly Black and brown people.
Sure.
And the $3 million got us to the point where we could have an app and sort of put that framework into play. And then we realized that we were onto something, and we were able to go out and raise another $3.5 million from the investor community. So between 2016 and 2019, we did the friends and family, essentially. And then in 2019, in October, we raised our seed round of $3.5 million. And that was led by an investor in California, Radical Impact, that's focused on social impact projects and initiatives. And so they allowed us to upgrade our infrastructure to what we have now, which is a completely free product that's a DDA account for individuals, where we have transformed the retail stores, the Dollar Generals, the Family Dollars, the Walmarts, into places where people can put money into their account instantaneously for free. They can withdraw cash out of their account from one of our free ATM machines for free. They can take a picture of the check, and that can be deposited into their account instantaneously for free. So our philosophy is give a high quality product to a market that has been relegated to the check cashers and the pawn shops, and we got a business. And as we do as Black people, we over-index in terms of the utilization of check cashers, and we over-index in terms of the utilization of the pawn shops. And we're trying to change the game with that, with our product. And the other thing I'm really excited about is you have the ability in our product, if you do direct deposit with us, to get your direct deposit into your account 2 days early. So if you get paid on the 15th, the money will show up on the 13th if you use our platform and you do it through direct deposit. So we think that by being so intentional in terms of our messaging, our marketing, our target audience, we believe in the Wakanda effect, right? Black Panther, exactly. Black Panther, which makes a lot of sense in the time of COVID. And it's a great way of showing respect while social distancing. But we believe that, you know, Black Panther didn't become a $1 billion movie because only Black people saw it, but it became a $1 billion movie because it was authentic to its brand and messaging, and it was a high quality product. Right. So we think we can become a $1 billion company taking the same kind of approach that Black Panther did, and we're really excited about that.
So speaking about the product, it is a mobile banking app.
Yes.
Right, that is serving the unbanked or the underbanked, correct? So I guess clarify or.
Yeah, so the reality is that it really serves everybody, quite frankly. I would argue that, you know, the statistics would suggest that 55% of African Americans are unbanked or underbanked. Unbanked means you don't have a bank account. Right. Underbanked means you have a bank account, but you rely on the check casher, the pawn shop, the payday lenders as your primary source of banking. Right. So we're essentially saying, and our product, by the way, is equivalent to any of the products in the market, Wells's product, Citi's product, Chime product, you know, but we're saying when you enroll with us, you can do it all online. We ask a couple of key questions. Who are you? When were you born? What's your social security number? If you don't have a social security number, we can take an ITIN. If you don't have an ITIN, we're going to roll out the ability that we can use any foreign issued government ID to open up a bank account. Importantly, we don't check the check system. So there is a system that exists that if you have had a bad experience with a banking product, a deposit or checking account in the past, that bank will put a little note in your file. Yeah. And when you go to many banks, not all, but many banks, they'll check the check system before they open up a bank account for you. We don't do that because we want it to be inclusive. And so once you go through the onboarding process in our app, which is at MoCaFi, you can find it wherever you get your apps, you know, Google Play Store, Apple Store, whatever. With the span of 2 minutes, you can get your account set up. And as soon as you're done, we will give you your account number, your routing number, your 16-digit account number, your CVC code or the 3-digit PIN on the back of the card, and the expiration date. So you can immediately start to utilize the platform. It's all free. There's no minimum cost. There's no cost to open up the account. There's no monthly cost. We have free ATMs. We got 55,000 free ATM machines. We got 80,000 stores where you can put money into your account for free. Any bank that has MasterCard, you can take your card in and take cash out of your account for free. So it's all free. And within 3 to 5 business days, your plastic shows up at in your doorstep, right at your house, and you can start to transact with that.
So this is basically a bank account without a bank. So you're a Black-owned bank, but you're a digital Black-owned bank.
Basically, that's exactly right. And so we have our bank partner is a bank called Sunrise Banks. It's out of Minnesota.
Okay.
So whenever you do business with us, you're getting FDIC insured accounts.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting MasterCard branded cards, and so it's all digital, focused on our community. So we think that that's a game changer because there aren't very many. We've got a lot of great Black-owned banks in various communities across the country, and we're 100% supportive of them, and over time want to help them grow.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, there isn't a national platform that can reach all of our community wherever we are in the country, and that's the place that we want to play.
Hmm. So speaking about the unique characteristics of this, of your platform, of your app, what are some things that separate you from the other mobile banking apps that exist already?
Yeah, a couple of things. So we think of it as 3 premises, right? We want people to bank smart, and that's what we just described. Second, we want people to build their credit. And in the same way that there's been redlining in this country as it relates to access to bank accounts, 80% of the bank branches that have closed in this country have been in poor communities. Black people spend 50% more than white people for a bank account. Hispanics spend 100% more a month for banking services. So we think our first step is get people banked, save people real money over time. Second step, how do we get people to build their credit scores? Because there's credit score redlining that happens in this country. What we've done is we've made it really easy for people to take their rent and report it to the credit bureaus. 60% of African Americans, we are renters. Compared to the broader population, that number is 60% are owners and 40% are renters. If you are one of those renters, there's a low probability that your biggest expense every month, which is your rent, which you pay religiously, does not help you build your credit.
Right.
And that is a problem, right? And if you live in public housing, 100% of people don't have the ability to build their credit.
Right.
So why should we be limited in terms of our ability to build our credit based on our zip code, as opposed to having tools that allow us to do that? And so we're committed to that, and we enable individuals to take their rent payments if they pay it on our platform, and we report it to 2 out of the 3 credit bureaus. And the power of that is compelling. So what we see is 80 to 85% of people who do this see some sort of improvement in their credit score. And at the same time, we can actually do 2 things. One, we can take your historical your historical rent payments for the last 2 years and report those all to the credit bureaus as if you had a trade line for the last 2 years. Or we can take, starting in August, for example, and take that payment and just capture it going forward. Now, people need to continue to pay their rent. They can't just sort of do it one and done. So you're putting yourself on the hook. But it's a very powerful way. And what really hipped us to this was some analysis that had been done in New York City by the controller. And he did analysis that was a test in New York City public housing. Said they took a subset, like 2,000 people or something, and said what would happen if rent was reported to the credit bureaus. They found in that sample, of the individuals who were thin to no credit file, 30% of those people, once you added rent, it became 700 credit scores or better.
What? So, okay, so let's back up. So these people who historically underserved by financial institutions, they now have 700 credit scores based off of this product that you have created and introduced to them. They can now take this 700 credit score and now do a myriad of things that are now going to put them on the path to creating wealth.
You just made the commercial.
Pay me. No, I'm just kidding. Great.
But happy to, but that's what it is. And so so we have a system in place in this country that has marginalized large numbers of people, right? Again, 60% of us are renters, right? And those payments aren't being reported to the bureaus, and it's a game changer. And so what we do is on our platform is we give you a mechanism to pay your rent and report it.
Sure.
We also let you see your Vantage score, so you can see the impact that you're having in terms of improving your credit score. And what's really important is many of us hear those commercials, oh, you want 30 points, 40 points on your credit score, pay some credit fix-it company and we'll take care of it for you.
Right.
I'm not going to judge, but all I am going to say is on our platform, you can see those same kinds of results for free, right? And so if we got you banking properly and saved you money, the average Black person spends $40,000 in their lifetime on excess banking fees, right? If we can print that, what'd you say?
No, just saying that basically insufficient fund fees, monthly fees. Okay.
That's right. Because we tend, for better or worse, to be transactors. Money comes in, money goes out. Right. And if you have an overdraft fee, if you're $5 over on your account and you get hit with a $30 fee, that, and then, oh, by the way, then if you don't clear out that overdraft fee, then they might close your account. And if they close your account, they're going to report it to the check system. And if they report it to the check system, then you go from underbanked to unbanked.
Right.
Right. So let's address that first portion, right? Of let's get you bank, save you money, check the box.
Yes.
Second, to your point, let's get your credit score to reflect who you are, not where you live. Right. And we'll give you tools to do that. And we want to increase that. We want to bring in utility payments. We want to bring in other payments that you make and help those inform your credit score, because that's another form of redlining.
Yeah, I was about to ask about that. Like what other payments that are being made can also be reflected on the platform as well, other than rent? So you just mentioned utility payments and some others that you're working on as well.
Yeah, so right now it's rent. So if you went to get our app right now, you can do the rent payments. We have a great partnership with Equifax, and we're working with Equifax to expand it to include utility payments, insurance premiums potentially, and other things that happen on a recurring basis. And so keep an eye out for that in 2021. And then the third piece that we are focused on is how do you create wealth from our communities, right? And so the two areas that we're focused on is around home ownership. Again, maybe not everyone should own a home. I gotta believe that more than 40% of us should have the privilege of owning a home. And so we create access to HUD certified counselors that can provide people with a pathway to knowing what the resources are, that they can become a first-time home buyer, or if they've been a home buyer in the past but have come out of that and want to do it again. We've got a lot of resources that are free or very much low cost to the individual. At the same time, we're working with the banks so we can find low-cost mortgages for people. We don't lend money at the moment, but we want to find partners if you're, help you qualify so you can do that. So the home ownership is an important aspect of what we're trying to do, and we're trying to drive that. And at the same time, we are also trying to drive entrepreneurship in our community. And we're trying to create tools that people can use to start businesses. We have a whole course. One thing I didn't mention is our whole platform is built on information, financial literacy, financial coaching, blog posts, videos. We just feel that if we can educate folks and give them a high quality product, we're positioning people for success. So anyway, we have a lot of great content around, so you want to be an entrepreneur and how do you do lean startup, and you got start a business and you got a $50 budget or something, but all these sort of ideas. And we're beginning to think about how we can get capital to people so they can begin to find the dollars to invest in their companies as well. So those are the two areas that we're focused on: home ownership and entrepreneurship as a part of our platform to move our community forward.
No, that's great. That's great. Another question that I had around the entrepreneurship piece was like, give I guess, a scenario where an entrepreneur is underbanked or unbanked, doesn't have a bank account, or is in a situation where they're collecting all types of fees because they have a low balance and money's coming in, it's going out, and they're getting charged fees for that. How can they utilize your app to create a successful business or financially stable business?
That's a great question. So I unfortunately have half the answer for you, and we're working on the other half. The reality is, depending on the business, whether it's online or a physical business, 30% of physical businesses, if you're Black, and I've been given a number up to 45% of mobile businesses or online businesses, people are using their personal bank account to run those businesses. I don't think that's the right way to do it, quite frankly. You really need an appropriate business account. We are thinking about and exploring developing business accounts, but we don't have that yet. So if somebody wants to start the business using their personal account, we're a great place to start. If they would like ideas about where to get a proper business account while we're in the process of sort of building that on our roadmap, they should feel free to give me a call or send me an email, wole.coaxum, wole.coaxum @MoCaFi.com or info@MoCaFi.com. And I'll just, they give me a little information about where they are. I'll find a good product for them in the meantime. People should, from a small business perspective, start a small business account. And this becomes really important, both on the consumer side, having a good quality individual account and having a good quality business account. When things like PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program, came about, who were the folks that needed the money most that didn't get it? Our community, right? Why was that? Because they didn't have a proper business account to be able to demonstrate that they had a payroll that fulfilled the obligations or the requirements set by the PPP program. Terrible, right? And then at the same time, when we had the CARES Act dollars, the $600 or the $1,200 per individual, and I think it was $500 per kid. Who were the last people to get those dollars? Our community. Why? Because we had to wait for a gift card that had the money on it, right? Or we had to wait for a check to be issued, and because we didn't necessarily have a checking account, we had to go to the check cashier to pay them a fee to get access to our money. So there's a real need for both the consumer side and the small business side to have a banking relationship. We can check the box in a big way on the consumer side, and we're thinking a lot about how to check the box on the small business side. We're just not there yet.
Sure. Another thing that I noticed was that you have a few partnerships with some Black-owned businesses already, and you offer some incentives.
Yes. Oh man, this is the part of our business that I'm really most excited about.
That's what got me excited when I saw it also, actually.
We're going to have many conversations about how to partner. So what we have in our capability, what I'm so excited about is we have the ability to use our platform as a way to market to consumers who want to spend money with Black businesses. And many Black businesses, I'm sure many that you work with, have affiliate programs or referral programs. And what we can do with our platform is, if there's a company that's willing to pay a referral for business that comes from our platform or comes from one of our customers, we can actually share that with the consumer and create a rewards program. So imagine a rewards program for Black-owned businesses across the country. Every time you swipe with your MoCaFi card, you get cash back. Everybody wins. We're driving consumers to the businesses, we're getting cash back to the consumer, and we can do it on an instantaneous basis. So then when you hear the jingle, "What's in your wallet?" the answer should be MoCaFi, because you know you're helping your community grow. Because I think this whole, I've grown up, like as you did, and many of people who are looking at this today, in homes where we celebrated the idea of creating community. We celebrated the idea and challenged ourselves. How can we keep the dollar inside the Black community? How can we strengthen each other? And the world has gone digital, even more so now than ever. But it doesn't mean we have to lose those values and our ability to keep dollars in our communities. Because, oh, by the way, COVID is an extinction level event for Black businesses. So we need as many tools as possible to make sure that we're keeping our dollars circulating in our community. But I think we just have to redefine the frame of community to reflect the digital component and not necessarily the store that's right down the street. The store that's right down the street is really important, so that we got to continue to support that. But we can support a broader ecosystem like the ones that you're creating with your platform.
No, that sounds great. That sounds amazing. Are there any type of particular businesses that fits, and are there some criteria for businesses that you want to work with?
Not really. I mean, it's one where for us selfishly, having as many businesses on the platform is fabulous because it just gives more opportunities for people to be supportive. And we have to just work out the arrangement so we can make it all work. But the nice thing is the technology makes it automated. So once we have the arrangement and have the conversation, then if the company can provide us with their own materials or their marketing information, we happily use our platform to drive the activity to all of our users. So it becomes a very virtuous cycle. So to answer your question, no, we don't put any restrictions on, but I think businesses that have established a terrific online presence are well suited to take advantage of what we're doing.
Sure. So in wrapping up shortly, what are your future goals for MoCaFi? Let's say five years from now.
That's a great question. I think that there is a big lane in this country for financial services that serves our community. And so if I were to fast forward the clock, I would love to be able to say we've got millions of people on our platform who are both individuals and small businesses. I would love to be able to say that we are strengthening our communities, which include some of the Black banks, where we're able to use our platform to drive assets and depositors and customers to the Black banks and make them stronger. I would love to be able to say that the check cashing business and the payday lenders and the pawn shops, they're a shrinking business as opposed to a growth business because individuals are using our platform to properly take care of their financial needs and take advantage of something that's inclusive and adds value as opposed to them being a part of something that's extractive and taking away value. And that we have demonstrated an ability to get appropriately priced products on the financial services side to people so they can take care of their families, they can create economic security, they can buy homes and start businesses. And we're changing the narrative around Black economic mobility in this country. So if we can do that in 5 years, I will be energized for the next 5 years.
No, that's awesome. That's great. Thank you so much for spending some time with us and sharing your insights and information about your company. And hopefully, you and I can talk soon about getting these black businesses empowered.
I'm all about it. So I look forward to that conversation. Thanks for the time and inviting me to your important show. I appreciate it.
No, it's my pleasure. You have a great rest of the day.
Thanks. You do the same. Take care.